Hi there, it's Esther Herbert. I'm trying something a little different. I'm trying a little winter shot. So let me put my gloves on because it's freezing out here. I'll see how long I can talk. This might be a super short one for you today. Anyway, I want to hit 2021 with a little kind of a harder edge to it, because I think that, it's nice to make resolutions, and that's great. And unfortunately, 8 or 9 times out of 10, they are not carried through. So I guess what I want to hit you with today is how to take care of self-inventory. I think that is so important if you are going to be someone of excellence, someone with a character that you're going to be proud of. And I just kind of want to talk about what you do when confronted by someone that you love and care about. Of course, that's usually the case, not a complete stranger. So someone comes up to you and says, I didn't really like when you said that, or they say, you hurt my feelings, you hurt me, I didn't like what you said behind my back, or I didn't like maybe that you even lied about me to someone or to my face. And what do? Do we just panic and instantaneously get defensive and say, oh my, I never do that. When somebody said to me once, that wasn't very nice. And I'm called kind of the queen of nice, and I've been called, you're always nice. And if you think about that, that's kind of ridiculous, because nobody is always nice and always anything. I mean, we do have times when we're not so nice, or that we say something we regret, or we hope that our words don't cut. We have had those times many times. I have in my lifetime, and I want to get better, so that when somebody comes up to me and says, wow, by the way, you really hurt me when you did this or that, and instead of saying, me, oh my, I never hurt anybody, I would never do that, that's not who I am, maybe if we could stop for just a moment and say to ourselves, I may not usually hurt somebody, but obviously I hurt this person. And maybe we could stop for a moment, and instead of just dismissing the person, making them feel less than, you can say, okay, I don't usually hurt people, that's not my style, but obviously I hurt you, and I'm really sorry about that. Is there any way we could talk about it so that we could get this resolved, and maybe the two of us can come to some kind of agreement about it? I mean, think of how that person is going to feel when you don't just brush them off and say, oh, that's never me, I don't do things like that. And when you stop and you say, wow, obviously I did hurt you, and it might not be my usual way of acting, but this time, instead of just saying, oh, well, that's their problem, I am going to say, hey, let's talk about it. Obviously I hurt you and I'm really sorry. I mean, that takes a person that is willing to do some self-inventory, to do some analyzing of their behavior. It is somebody that takes, honestly, a lot of maturity to sit there and say, wow, I must have hurt that person and I need to make amends somehow, some way. Now, for those of us that do suffer from a mental illness, the very last thing we ever want is to be brushed aside, dismissed. Oh, well, that's just Esther, she's highly emotional, she has bipolar, so, I'm just going to discount everything she says. No, that's not fair. I think that if we can stop and go, I am not perfect. I am not always kind. I am not always sweet. I have hurt people's feelings, and I want to make amends for that. And I want to be a better person, and I want to do it in a way that is kind and lets the person know that I want you to come and talk to me. It's okay. I'm not going to just poof you aside and say, oh, well, and go about my life. I think it's so important that if someone comes to you and says, I didn't like this, that we don't instantaneously I know it's easy to get defensive, but if we could just stop for a minute before we speak, stop and say, obviously, I have hurt somebody that's very important to me, and I don't want that to continue. So a changed behavior, or a listening ear, or less judgment, it makes it for a much better place for both people. So 2021, I want you to feel very empowered this year. It's been a rough 2020 for many, many reasons for all of us. And I want 2021 to start off on a good foot. I want us to be approachable. I want us to be kind. I especially want us to be forgiving. I want us to have relationships that we're proud of. I want us to be people of excellence. So as I say at the end of every video, you are so important. Now remember that, please. You are important to be listened to, understood, and heard. You are valued. And your mental health will benefit from you taking a stand, standing up for yourself, and your mental health will grow exponentially in 2021 as we work together on all of these things. But I appreciate you so much. God bless. And hey, I didn't freeze to death out here. I'm okay. Take care, and we'll talk again. Okay? Bye-bye.